Meta description: is it really just a phase? Or is something deeper unfolding before our eyes? Why do Jungkook and Taehyung feel different lately? And what are they not saying that has ARMY holding its breath? Before you start reading, pause for a second. If you feel that quiet unease, that strange emotional shift you can't quite name every time Jungkook and Taehyung appear on screen lately, you're not alone. If you've caught yourself rewatching old videos, comparing smiles, tones, silences, and wondering whether this is just another fleeting phase or the early sign of something far more serious, then this story is for you. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, because what you're about to read isn't just news. It's a conversation ARMY around the world has been whispering about, afraid to say out loud that is it really just a phase? Or are the subtle changes in Jungkook and Taehyung the quiet warning signs of an internal shift that even the most loyal fans can no longer ignore? At first glance, everything seems normal. Jungkook still sings with breathtaking control, his voice steady, powerful, unmistakably his. Taehyung still carries that magnetic aura, a presence that fills any room before he even speaks. And yet, something feels different. Not loud, not dramatic, just different enough to make ARMY uneasy. It's not in what they do, but in what they don't. Not in the words they say, but in the pauses between them. Fans are used to evolution. BTS has always been about growth, transformation, and maturity. From wide-eyed teenagers chasing a dream to global icons carrying the weight of millions of expectations. Change has never been the enemy. But this time, the change doesn't feel like a confident step forward. It feels quieter, heavier, more inward. And that's what makes it unsettling. Jungkook, once known for his open laughter and spontaneous warmth, has recently shown a more restrained version of himself. His smiles still appear, but they arrive later, leave sooner. His eyes, once constantly searching for the members, the fans, the cameras, now seem more focused inward, as if he's listening to a voice only he can hear. Is this simply adulthood settling in? Or is it the result of years spent being everyone's golden standard? Taehyung's shift is even more poetic, and perhaps more dangerous in its subtlety. His artistic expression has grown deeper, darker, more introspective. He speaks with care, sometimes with distance, choosing words that feel deliberate, almost guarded. When he looks at the crowd, there's love there, but also contemplation, as if he's asking himself a question he hasn't answered, yet that ARMY notices everything. That's not an exaggeration, it's a truth. Fans have built emotional timelines, side-by-side comparisons, soft theories whispered in comment sections late at night. Not out of obsession, but out of concern. Because when artists who have always worn their hearts openly begin to pull inward, it raises a question no one wants to ask but everyone feels. What happened? Some insist it's just a phase, a natural result of time, pressure, maturity, and personal reflection. After all, who wouldn't change after carrying global fame on their shoulders for more than a decade? Who wouldn't grow quieter after giving so much of themselves to the world? This explanation is comforting, safe, easy to accept. But what if it's not the whole truth? What if these subtle changes are not random, but intentional? What if Jungkook and Taehyung are consciously redefining who they are, not just as idols, but as individuals? And what if that process is far more painful than anyone realizes? There's something haunting about silence. Loud statements can be explained away. Silence lingers. And lately, the silence surrounding their emotional states feels heavier than usual. Not empty, but full of thoughts unsaid, decisions unannounced, paths not yet revealed. That ARMY has seen this pattern before, though never quite like this. Moments in the past where exhaustion peaked, where emotions cracked through carefully maintained professionalism. But this time, there is no crack. There is polish, calm, control. And sometimes that's more alarming than visible struggle. Jungkook has always been known as the one who adapts, who blends, who gives. The golden magne who carries expectations effortlessly, or so it seems. But gold, when stretched too thin, doesn't shatter. It bends. Slowly, quietly, until one day, it no longer fits the mold it was cast into. Taehyung, on the other hand, has never hidden his sensitivity. He has always felt deeply, loved deeply, questioned deeply. His recent calm feels less like peace and more like contemplation. As if he's standing at a crossroads, looking at multiple futures and weighing which version of himself he's willing to become. And this is where ARMY's anxiety truly begins. Because BTS has never been just about music. It's about connection, emotional honesty, shared growth. Fans didn't just watch Jungkook and Taehyung grow up. They grew with them. So when that connection shifts even slightly, it feels personal. Not in an entitled way, but in a human one. When someone you've walked beside for years suddenly walks a little slower, or faster, or in a slightly different direction, you notice that is it possible that Jungkook and Taehyung are preparing for something big? A transformation that can't be announced yet? A boundary they're finally learning to draw? Or a truth they're not ready to share? There's also the weight of expectation to consider. Being Jungkook and Taehyung doesn't come with an off switch. Every expression is analyzed. Every silence interpreted. Every change magnified. Perhaps what ARMY is sensing isn't distance, but protection. A necessary emotional armor built after years of being constantly visible. And yet the fear remains. Because what if this change means they're hurting more than they're showing? What if the calm is a mask? What if the growth comes at a cost fans can't bear to imagine? No official statement has confirmed anything. No dramatic headlines, no explicit confessions. Just a feeling. A shared intuition among millions that something is shifting beneath the surface. And sometimes, intuition is born not from imagination, but from familiarity. ARMY knows Jungkook's laughter. They know Taehyung's gaze. They know the difference between tired and distant, between peaceful and guarded. That's why this unease doesn't fade, it grows. Still, there is hope woven into this tension. Because change doesn't always mean loss. Sometimes it means rebirth. Sometimes it means artists choosing themselves for the first time, even when it scares the people who love them. Sometimes it means stepping back to breathe before stepping forward stronger. The question isn't whether Jungkook and Taehyung are changing. They are. The real question is why, and where this change is leading them. Is this the calm before a powerful new chapter? Or the quiet signal of an emotional toll long overdue for acknowledgement? Is ARMY witnessing distance, or depth? One thing is certain. This isn't something fans will ignore. And maybe they shouldn't. Not to panic, not to speculate recklessly, but to listen, to observe, to care without demanding answers. Because if Jungkook and Taehyung have taught the world anything, it's that growth is rarely loud, and truth often arrives softly. So now, ARMY waits. Watching closely, feeling deeply, asking questions that don't yet have answers. And maybe that's the point. If you felt this shift too, if this article put words to an unease you couldn't explain, share your thoughts in the comments. Do you think this is just a phase or something more? Like the video, subscribe for more deep stories, and let your voice be part of this conversation. Because sometimes, understanding begins not with answers, but with the courage to ask. The unease does not disappear with time. If anything, it deepens the longer ARMY sits with it. The more appearances are watched, the more interviews are replayed, the more performances are slowed down frame by frame, the clearer it becomes that this is not a sudden shift but a gradual one. A slow turning of the emotional tide that began quietly, almost invisibly, until suddenly it was impossible not to feel. What makes this moment so emotionally charged is not fear of change itself, but fear of distance. BTS was built on closeness, between members and between the members and their fans. Jungkook and Taehyung, in particular, have always embodied that intimacy in different ways. Jungkook through his openness, his honesty, his tendency to speak from the heart without filters. Taehyung through his emotional depth, his vulnerability, his ability to express what others only feel. When those two energies soften, when they turn inward at the same time, it creates a silence that feels louder than words. Some fans describe it as a sense of mourning, even though nothing has officially ended. A mourning for a version of Jungkook and Taehyung that feels just slightly out of reach now.